What's good, everybody? According to Ramona Shelburne, Jayson Tatum is not sure if he's coming back. We keep getting mixed messages on this. I'm your boy, Adam Taylor. I've been covering the Celtics for around about 10 years. Find me over at USA Today, heavy.com, and of course, the Celtics Chronicle newsletter. Links in the description. Go show some love. I'm joined by my homie, compadre, co-host in crime, Brandon Solquadenche. Brandon, what's popping, dude?
What's going on, Adam? Thank you for having me, bro. I'm excited to
Yo,
be here.
that's gonna take me a minute to get used to pronouncing that name. We'll get
Said it
there.
better off camera, bro.
Because I'm doing it in rhythm, right? So it's like and I've got to find a rhythm of like hitting those stress beats, but it'll come. It'll come.
Yeah. I know, absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
so according to Ramona Shelburne, Tatum is not sure whether he's going to come back. I know there's been a lot of talk at the moment. Once Steve Ball Pep tweeted out that the Philly game had been moved. The March 1st game against Philly had been moved from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. to get that primetime slot in Boston on Boston NBC Sports. Everybody was like, yo, that means Tatum's coming back on March 1st.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've had the 5-on-5 scrimmage, which Ramona Shelburne noted was the only 5-on-5 Tatum's played in so far. The practice session he did with Maine over in Boston at the Outback Center was the only 5-on-5 he's done. So right now, where we're standing is there's no guarantee that Tatum comes back this season. He's not as far along as maybe some of us were starting to believe, where like, hey, maybe he's playing 5-on-5 all the way through the All-Star break. It's tough, right? Because there's a world where you could see him sitting and there's a world where you could see him coming back. Where are you kind of standing on this?
So when I read the post on Twitter, my interpretation was, or my reaction was that Jason Tatum's not going to give Shelburne all of the information because why would he want her to be the one to break the news? I feel like he's going to do it on his own terms and when he's ready. You know what I mean? Um, I I said that I don't really think anymore it's a matter of if he's coming back. It's more of just a matter of when. I've kind of, especially after the documentary teaser dropped, like I don't believe he's doing all of that and then gonna end up sitting. But at the end of the day, I think only Jason Tatum right now knows when and if that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that that's a really fair point in not telling Shelburne, like, and why would you kind of break that news when you're not breaking it yourself?
Exactly.
The only flip side I've got there is if Tatum's basically telling everybody, I'm not sure if I'm coming back, and those words have left his mouth verbatim, basically, on
You're right.
2 occasions, 2 or 3 occasions. If people still aren't listening, hey, let me go through an ESPN reporter that I trust to try and get that messaging back out there without it needing to come straight from my mouth. I mean, that to me is his way of being like, you'll know when I know, but please, like, but let me just remind y'all that I'm not where you think I am right now.
No, it is a fair point. I didn't think of that, but man, I don't know. I just feel like there's so much hype behind it right now that if you're not 100%, then like you just have to come out and I would say you have to shut down the rumors and lower the hype, which maybe that is what he's trying to do, but I think coming from him personally, it would do a better job of kind of simmering down the hype the whole Celtics fandom has at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he did that though, right? And then he got clowned by like
Yeah, no,
multiple
and he said he was
outlets.
trying to be vulnerable and everybody
Yeah,
came out. No, it's a tough situation, especially with Boston fans. We've just been waiting since the moment he went down for the return, and now it's like it feels like it's so close, but it's true. Like we really don't have an idea.
see, I
It's all
said this at the start of the
speculation.
season. I said I wish that the Celtics went the Pacers route and was just like, right, he's out all year. Don't expect him back. That's exactly what Indiana did with Halliburton, and he's been able to like. I mean, that dude's doing podcasts with LeBron, and no one is questioning if he's coming back because it got shut down instantly. Like, we're not going to see Halliburton this season. If the Celtics had done that with Tatum, I think that everybody would be in a better position. I don't think you'd have like members of the roster, I wouldn't say looking over their shoulders, but there's some young guys on this team that their minutes are going to get absolutely and utterly destroyed once Tatum comes back. So
Well,
that would have gave them a little bit more freedom as well. I don't know. A part of me just wishes they'd said, hey, we're going to bring him back, or no, we're not, instead of just this, we'll wait and see, because it's
no, I
just left so much uncertainty.
I do think though that just like with the way the season has gone has surprised a lot of people, and I think if they would have started out with the way that the Pacers did, that they could have potentially shut it down at a sooner time. But I mean, how do you shut down somebody at Tatum's stature that could potentially play and you're in this position? You know, like the East is wide open, in my opinion. I have no reason to believe that they can't compete with the Pistons or the Knicks or the Cavs in a 7-game series, even without Tatum. So I think like if he can play, I think if he could just be 75 to 85% of his best, that I mean, that takes them over the top, at least in the East. At least in the East. The whole thing is, you know, winning it all is another topic. But
It's given him enough time to get to that 75% though, right? Like when he comes back, he's not going to be at 75% of what he was. That's what we're talking about. We're not saying 75% health. We're saying 75% of all NBA first team.
no, exactly.
Like I put on I did a mailbag for the newsletter on Monday. Again, links in the description. Go read that. It was available to everybody. Where I was like, for me, the absolute best case scenario is by the second round of the playoffs,
Mhm.
Tatum's at an all-star level or a borderline all-star level. It's going to take longer than that to get him up to an all NBA level. That's next year, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I
And
agree.
hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I would
But
agree with that.
you need a run up of games to get you there, right? He's not going to just be airdropped in the first week, second week of March and be all-star Jason. He's going to be rusty. It's going to look clunky. You've got to reintegrate him. You need a good 20, 15, 20, 25 games to really ramp him up. And I think that as the amount of games left start to shrink and we start to see the end of the regular season get closer and closer, the discussion on whether Tatum's going to come back really has a lot more to do with, does he have enough of a runway than it does, is he going to be healthy enough? Because if he doesn't have enough of a runway, you're setting him up to fail, at which point he's better sitting out.
No, I absolutely agree. I think if he's not back by the second week of March, that you kind of start to wonder if it's even worth it to bring him back, because you can't bring him back like just for the playoffs, because like you said, he's going to be rusty. He needs, I'd say, a good month or two of, you know, on the court actually getting real reps in to work his way up to even be able to play in the playoffs.
For sure. And it's more than just that, right? It's the mental aspect as well. You need to relearn to trust your body. You need to, and I said this on a recent episode, it's like, first, you need to make sure that you're comfortable drawing contact. Then you need to make sure you're comfortable playing through contact, scoring through contact, making reads that aren't born out of panic. And I used this as an example in a recent episode as well, where I was like, if you look at Gordon Hayward and how physical he was driving the lane before his injury, and
Right.
then how unphysical he was when driving the lane after his injury, like it's kind of like a case of the yips. And you want Tatum to have enough time on the floor in a regular season where he can approach that head on and be physical and learn his legs going to hold up and his Achilles is going to hold up to the explosive movements, the changes of directions, moving laterally. And I think that if you ask him to do that without much run up in the playoffs when it's super physical, you could really be setting him up for some long-term hurdles that he needs to clear. And I just think it would be pointless. So I am kind of on the bench on the side that where I'm like, hey, if you're going to bring him back, it needs to be soon. If he's not sure now, then I'm slowly starting to look at this like, hey, maybe it's just better to wait until the summer. But if he's ready in March 1st, first week of March, then yeah, I'd be down to watch a Jayson Tatum return game.
So do you think at this point that it's all just mental and when he's mentally ready to come back, or do you think there's any kind of like physical setbacks at this point?
I think it's more from going from what Stevens has said on multiple occasions now. I think it's more just based on, hey, we've got a set roadmap for him, and he's not completed that roadmap yet. And until we've completed that roadmap, we're not going to make a decision one way or another because we don't know when he's going to get to the end of this roadmap that we've built.
No, that's definitely fair. The only thing about Tatum, like, and Tatum specifically, is that he's just so versatile. And it's like, even if he does come back and his shots way off and, you know, he does look a little uncomfortable going to the basket, you know, he's still he's still a long wing. I think he could still play good defense. He can pass the ball. I just think that like he can still contribute even if the actual scoring, like an all NBA player, does take even until next year. He can still affect the game in a positive way.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that that's the value of bringing him back, right? The only pushback is the longer you encourage him to do everything but drive and everything but attack, like relearn that kind of trust in his body, the more of a hurdle it could become. You want him to come back onto the floor and whether it looks bad or not, drive, bounce off guys, create separation through contact. I like to call it like a bump off, like, drop that shoulder, bounce in, come off, hit that jump out, or kind of like the fade away, the one-handed scoop, whatever it may be. That's kind of where I'm looking at things like that's what I want to see from him early, because that will tell me more about his confidence in his body than dragging a pick and roll, coming off a pick and roll, dragging his dribble out, drawing two, and then hitting a cross court pass. Look, great. His processing speed is still there. His passing ability is still there. His court awareness is still there, but he's not embracing contact. And I'd want to see that early in his return. But I just don't want to see it in the postseason if that's the first time he's seen that level of contact, because there's just such a jump in physicality from regular season to playoff basketball, which
Especially
is why I'm like,
seems like
he needs that 20 games.
Admittedly, I do think like the driving to the basket and taking contact, it wouldn't surprise me if that didn't come back until next season. I think that Tatum is a little bit of a head case, but even prior to the injury, I could definitely see that being a hurdle, admittedly.
It's
But
either going to be a hurdle or it's going to be the first thing he does just to cry and kind of like, when you're learning to swim and someone just pushes you into the pool. It's either going to be something he avoids or he just jumps headfirst into that pool.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't mind being wrong about it. But like I was saying, either way, I do feel that he could still come and impact in a positive way. If we get 14 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds out of Tatum, even off the bench, like that's still, I would take it. I would take it, absolutely.
And look, man, physicality doesn't just come on offense, it comes on defense too. Like for Tatum to be the level of rebounder that he was, he's going to need to box out. He's going to need to battle to get in front of guys. He's going to be jostling for position on rebounds. The Celtics are boarding up a lot more the last season and a half. So they're anticipating long rebounds rather than short a lot more, which is why guys like Pritchard and Holiday and White seem to do so well on the offensive glass. I think that if you could have Tatum doing that defensively as well, like you could ask him to anticipate long rebounds defensively rather than crash the glass just while he's reacclimating his body to everything, and then slowly introduce physicality defensively as well. It's not just on offense that he needs to kind of pass that hurdle. Look, I'm all in on the Tatum return if he's cleared, but I do think that, we're probably at a point where in 3 weeks' time, if he's still not back, I'm not sure how good the value is in bringing him, like returning him in April, where that runway he's going to have is going to be considerably shorter.
No, I can definitely agree with you on that. So I gotta ask you, the house, which game are you picking that he comes back?
Oh, I think the Philly one just stands out, right? Because they moved it to prime time. So I'm going to say the Philly one. It's still like a week and a bit out.
Yeah.
A lot can change. We've seen how quickly things have changed with Tatum's rehab from going just deadlifting to being cleared to play 5-on-5. I think another week. We don't know what he's done. Like we're in a bit of a dead point right now. We don't know what he's doing behind the scenes. So I don't, neck on the line, March 1st makes sense.
I agree. But there's also a game against the Hornets, the following game, that I think would make a lot of sense. Probably take a little bit of the pressure off.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I would say that if he comes back, we're going to win it all.
That's a bold statement. I'm not going to say that, but I understand where you're coming from. Right, with that,
I got to throw in a little bait sometimes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. With that, I'm going to say farewell to everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe on the channel. Show Brandon some love over on Twitter. A whole lot of Celtics. He's got it on his hat too, if you hadn't noticed.
there it is.
Make sure you show some love on the channel. Like, subscribe. We'll catch you soon. Peace out, everybody. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Adam.